Video from, oh shit, I forgot the name of the channel. Barely Evolved. It is called The Worst Time in History to Be Born as a Human. I have a feeling it's not going to be 536. Yeah, I'm guessing we're going a bit further back than 536. So, hopefully audio doesn't suck. Hopefully I have it decently balanced this time around. Let's dive in.
This is you.
This is me.
There's your dad, his dad.
Probably a bit. It depends. What year is that? I think my dad might be closer to that one.
And his. Keep going.
Okay.
Soon you'll fly past powdered wigs, chainmail, mammoths, and eventually stumble upon a guy squatting in the dirt, chewing.
Dude, I can see that just by going outside, depending on the location, depending on the city. You can just go around a corner and see that.
On a beetle and trying not
Again, you know what? I bet you could probably find one within 30 minutes if you just go down to Florida.
to die before sundown. That guy? That's your ancestor. He has no name, no shoes,
Excuse you, his name is.
and no idea that you, a distant descendant with a snack addiction and a mild caffeine.
Joke's on you. I don't have the snack addiction. I do have the caffeine addiction, though. Not sponsored, so you totally cannot tell what this brand is.
Dependency even exist. But here's the thing. If that guy, or any one of the thousands of people in your ancestral chain, had tripped at the wrong moment,
Oh, I wonder what killed.
gotten eaten by something toothy,
Hell no.
or just failed to reproduce, you wouldn't be here. You exist because 1,000 people before you didn't die when they should have.
And they got laid. Yeah. Unlike me. Yeah.
You're not lucky, you're the byproduct of violent coincidence and stubborn biology.
Daddy?
So let's take a look at how close you came over
6 squared plus panic over saber-toothed teeth length. Chance of survival.
and over again to never being born at all. We're going to rank 5 of the deadliest periods in human history, from bad but
Oh. Okay, I didn't know we were gonna have, like, a ranking here. I thought this was just gonna be, like, an 8-minute video on this was the worst time. You know what? So 536 might actually be on this list.
survivable to you might as well start writing your will at birth. Let's get right into it. Number 5. Ice Age. Around 20,000 years ago, during the last glacial maximum, Earth wasn't exactly cozy. Massive ice sheets, up to 2 miles thick,
Damn.
smothered huge chunks of North America, Europe, and Asia. Average global temperatures dropped by about 10 degrees Fahrenheit, 6
Damn.
degrees Celsius, turning most of the planet into a frozen wasteland where food was a distant rumor. If you were alive back then,
Boonga boonga.
your daily routine involved not dying of hypothermia, hunting woolly mammoths the size of school buses,
Whoa.
and occasionally running away from creatures like the cave lion, Panthera spelaea,
Oh, he's big.
one of the largest wild cats in history.
I'd still try and pet him. I'm not gonna lie. I would try. He might, even if he's running at me, teeth out, gonna eat me, I'd probably still go, kitty.
Your house? Probably a mammoth bone hut, or a cave shared with
Nice.
40 of your least favorite relatives.
Well, hold on. Now, this is sounding like we're assuming closer to, well, I guess North America would have had a similar experience. I wonder how similar North American Ice Age civilization was to European civilization at the time during the Ice Age, because they're the same longitude, right? Or is this lat? I don't know which is which. Whichever one goes that way around the globe. Well, I guess this also goes around the globe. Fuck. I'm gonna call it longitude because that, and then let it. Someone tell me if I'm right or wrong, please.
Your clothing, animal hides stitched together with bone needles.
Nice.
Want dinner? Good luck. You're armed with a sharpened stick, and your target
Bro, better than I am right now.
weighs 6 tons and is
Okay, well, to be fair, in the defense of the people of the Ice Age, it would not. I'm assuming it would not just be one person going after a woolly mammoth, because that thing huge, like that would feed the whole tribe, clan. I don't know how they divided themselves. So this is also reminding me of Far Cry Primal, which underrated Far Cry. I quite enjoyed it, quite a lot.
actively trying to kill you. And if starvation didn't get you, a simple infected cut probably would. There were no antibiotics, no vaccines, and no emergency rooms, just a lot of home remedies involving chewing random plants and hoping for the best. Despite all this, Homo sapiens adapted, inventing tools, mastering fire, and even creating early art like the cave paintings at Lascaux. Number 4, the dawn of agriculture. Somewhere around 10,000 years ago, humans had a brilliant idea.
Bro.
Now, because this is the dawn of agriculture is after the Ice Age, I think. Yes? No? Is it? Oh my god, I am realizing I really do not know history that far back. Shit.
What's wrong, bro?
I can't chase one more mammoth. My legs hurt.
Bro, you don't even have legs. Come on, man. We're only 400 miles
What
away
if-
from breakfast.
Hear me out. We make food come to us.
How?
We stay in one place. Grow stuff. Build. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
Welcome to the dawn of agriculture, also known as the moment when humanity accidentally made life way harder. Early farmers swapped the nomadic, hunting lifestyle for settling down in permanent villages, planting crops like wheat, barley, and lentils. Sounds smart, right? Well, it was, except for the part where it unleashed a buffet of new problems. Living close together meant diseases could now spread like wildfire.
Okay.
Your diet? Way
I see.
worse.
I see the argument. However, it still led to an increase in population size. So, right? Yeah. Yeah. Because civilization, like, yeah.
Less protein, more vitamin deficiencies, and your teeth basically rotted out of your face. And don't even get me started on crop failure. One bad drought, one swarm of locusts, one random flood, and your entire village starved to death
Very Eve.
while glaring at the sky. Archaeologists have even found ancient skeletons showing signs of malnutrition, anemia, and horrifying dental disasters. Number 3, the Mongol invasion.
I think he's just putting the survival chance randomly. Something tells me.
If you were alive in the 13th century and
I
saw a
was.
cloud of dust on the horizon, you had about 3 minutes to panic before your city got turned into a parking lot. Led by Genghis Khan, a man who treated mercy like a myth, the Mongols carved out the largest land empire in human history, stretching from China to Eastern Europe.
Well, how much of I think Genghis was only. How much of this was Genghis Khan? I don't think he was the majority of this. Wasn't it like his son or grandson or something that did like this part, the western part or something? I can't remember.
Their strategy? Show up
Also, I am now a lot more confident that 536 Common Era is going to be on this list. It's either going to be number 2 or number 1. Ooh, what could he put at number 1? I'm going to guess number 2. I think, oh no, bubonic plague is going to be, yeah, bubonic plague is probably going to be number 2. And then I think 536 is probably going to be number 1, or switch those.
fast, hit hard, and leave absolutely nothing standing. Entire cities were wiped off the map, populations slaughtered, and survivors, if there were any, were sometimes used as human shields for the next battle. Mongol horse archers could hit you from 300 yards away while riding at full gallop, basically inventing mobile warfare centuries before tanks were even a thing. Historians estimate the Mongol invasions killed around 10% of the world's population, at a time when the world population was already tiny. Number 2.
Yep, like that. Well, hold on. Survival chance was not that low. Okay.
The Black Death. In
Not a fan of the survival chances he's throwing out here.
1347, Europe got an unexpected package from Central Asia, courtesy of some highly motivated fleas.
Or at least, I'm not a fan of the survival chances since he's not addressing them and they just are coming across as random. If he were to explain, then I could be persuaded.
And things went downhill fast.
But I think 7% for the Black Death is a bit dramatic.
The Black Death, or bubonic plague, tore through towns and cities like a biological wildfire. Caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, it traveled on rats, fleas, and humans who had absolutely no concept of personal hygiene. Once it hit, survival.
I think I've ranted about this before in previous Black Death videos. People did know how to be clean. They were cleaner than what we assume. Yes, the cities were kind of fucked up, though. The cities, clearly, if you look at the map of where, like, lots of infection and people died, the cities. But that's also going to happen in cities because that's where the most people are together, right? But I think the average person definitely a lot cleaner than I think our the common belief is. And I want to push back against that every time I hear it. They weren't that dirty. Okay? They weren't.
Became a lottery. You could catch it from a handshake, a shared cup, or just by breathing.
And I've heard, I don't know how true this is because I haven't really looked into it myself. I heard, kind of talked about now and again online, heard a little bit, that Europeans during the colonial era were actually filthier than they had been in the medieval era. And I can't remember what the argument, the reasoning as to why that was. But yeah, there's a fun fact that I'm remembering, if it is a fact.
The same medieval air as an infected guy. Symptoms included giant swollen lymph nodes, fever, vomiting blood, and, spoiler alert, death, usually within days. It's estimated that...
But of course, there were a lot of variations of the bubonic plague. One of them was the one that was like kind of they killed really fast and stuff, and gave those. I think the one that killed really, really fast is the one that is the popular idea of the bubonic plague. I want to say, maybe, again, really rough on knowing that.
Somewhere between 30% to 60% of Europe's population was wiped out in just a few years. Entire villages were abandoned, economies collapsed, and doctors walked around wearing creepy bird masks filled with flowers because apparently vibe-checking the plague was peak medieval science.
Aura, dude. Hey, I'm gonna defend an Italian city here, Milan. No, or was it Genoa? I think it was Milan. Milan, during the bubonic plague, enacted strict, fuck, what's the word? Strict protocols, that's not the word I'm thinking of, though, to keep people out and keep people from moving around. And you look at a more detailed map of the bubonic plague and its death toll throughout Europe, Milan, I think it was Milan, ends up being like a little lighter spot. Now, of course, they still suffered a lot, but it is, I think, if I'm remembering the city correctly, I believe it was Milan, because I remember it being in northern Italy. I read, it was a book for a class on the Renaissance, I think was the class. I think it was, or was it a class just on Italy? on history of it. I don't think it was a history of Italy. I think it was a specifically medieval Renaissance time period class. God, I am forgetting so many things right now, or at least I feel like I am. But yeah, I remember the book, and I remember Milan being talked about. So, and I remember some things, but whether or not I am remembering it all in the right sequential order and piecing it together correctly, that I cannot remember.
Number 1, the Toba supervolcano eruption.
Wow, 536 not on this list. Okay, you know what? All right, let's hear the argument for the Toba supervolcano.
Around 74,000 years ago, the Toba
This. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I agree.
supervolcano exploded and nearly deleted humanity from existence.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
When Toba erupted, it launched over 670 cubic miles of ash and debris into the sky, enough material to cover the entire United States. The eruption triggered a volcanic winter so devastating that sunlight was blocked for an estimated 6 to 10 years.
Damn.
Global temperatures crashed by up to 27 degrees Fahrenheit,
Damn.
15 degrees Celsius. Plants withered, animals starved, and ecosystems collapsed worldwide. For early humans, already struggling just to find enough calories not to die every day, it was catastrophic. Food supplies vanished. Entire landscapes turned to frozen deserts. Rivers dried up. Forests became graveyards. It's estimated that the total human population shrank to fewer than 3,000 individuals. A genetic bottleneck so tight that every person alive today likely descends from that tiny handful of survivors.
Likely descends? What do you mean by likely? If that is the estimated, we all do.
No crops, no animals, no sunlight, no second chances. Imagine spending your entire life in darkness, freezing, starving, with the constant fear that today might simply be the last day anyone sees the sun. And yet, somehow, against all odds, a few stubborn, desperate humans managed to endure. You exist because they didn't give up when everything else did. Thanks for watching Barely Evolve.
And that was the worst times in history to be born as a human. I think for the most part, I definitely agree with the number 1, for sure. I think maybe would have rearranged, like 5 and 4 with, like 3 and 2, because the Black Death really kind of, it affected the Afro-Eurasia, but it really kind of affected Europe the most, I mean, China got hit pretty hard too, but like, at least the way it's talked about, it makes it sound like Europe was hit the hardest. So, if we look at it from a global human scale, Black Death I don't think is worse than the Ice Age or the dawn of agriculture. And the same with the Mongol invasions. As long as you weren't getting invaded by the Mongols, you were peachy keen, living life the same as it was the day before. Unless some other neighboring kingdom or warlord decided to come conquer you. You were fine-ish. I mean, still sucked to live without our modern luxuries, but still! I mean, I don't think it was as bad as the adjustment from the shifting to agriculture in the Ice Age. And definitely think I think the only accurate survival chance that this creator here put was the one used here for the Toba.
Number 1.
The Toba supervolcano eruption. Oh, well, no. Shrinking from, an estimated 300,000 total population, I think was the number he showed. 200,000 to 3,000, if that's even the accurate estimated number. Back then. 3,000? I don't think that's 0.5%. Hold on. Let me do some quick maths here. 200,000 divided by 3,000. Divided by 3,000. No, that's about a 66% decrease. I think if I'm doing the math right, because 200,000 times 0.5% is 1,000 people. Okay. Quick math. Quick math. Look, see, I did my math. 1,000. 200,000 times 0.5%. Oh, wait. Yes, no, I did do it right. Yeah, times 0.5%. I'm blanking on math now, too. Oh my god, I'm embarrassing myself. Yeah, so, the survival chances are wrong. Not too much a fan of that. Definitely feel like a lot of this was dramatization, which I don't mind in these kinds of videos. That's fine. I just personally don't like them myself. I don't think you really need to dramatize how shitty a lot of human existence has been. So like I don't. It just seems a bit unnecessary. Like it kind of sucked a lot of the time, so we don't need. Doesn't really need to be described any suckier than it really was, you know. Yeah, and I don't know. I think I would have put 536 over Genghis Khan as well. Because 536 was a year that also affected the whole world. And there was notable like I think it's even something is mentioned because 536 is when I think in one of the Icelandic area volcanoes went kaboom, and it affected the whole world. Like China has recordings from 536 or so, and I think around that time period, one of the Chinese dynasties also collapsed because of that, because it was believed they lost the mandate of heaven, or the losing of a mandate of heaven was around that. Something. I think, again, trying to remember a lot of things happening all around the same time period, and I am not doing good at it. But yeah, overall, I think it was an entertaining video. Definitely, I think this person was very much inspired, at least in art style, by Oversimplified. And kind of in a way also inspired by, I think, Blue Jay, though whether or not this creator, I don't know when this creator started uploading videos, but like just vibes here, without really knowing how long this creator has been making videos. I'm getting a Blue Jay Oversimplified sort of vibe here, and I'm a fan of that. I like both of those creators. So yeah, overall, I think this was a good time. Yeah, that's the worst time in history to be born as a human.